All right, what's up, everyone? I have been challenged by Reva Revere and Miss Marion Davenport. They are doing what's called a no edit, no issues challenge. So, this is about as unedited as I can get. I'm holding my phone in my hand, I'm not using my little stand over here. Um, no lipstick, you see it. But anyway, so I figured if I was going to do an unedited, I figured I'd just tell y'all a little bit more about who I am and what I'm about and why YouTube now. So I've kind of mentioned in previous videos, I've attempted YouTube off and on for several times throughout the year. So if you look at my YouTube channel, I think I joined in, I don't know, like 2015, 16, I don't even know. But I attempted like full on, like hired a team to help with editing, to help with did photo shoots, all the things back in 2020. And this was actually, I was 1 year into being an entrepreneur. I still was working full time. I was in my second year at the college at that point. Now I'm in my sixth year. I'm in my sixth year of being an entrepreneur. So I haven't talked about too much of my entrepreneurial experience yet, but we're going to get to that. So basically, I was working with an amazing mother daughter team. I was working with a content strategist at that time. And honestly, the amount of time and money I was putting out was not making sense as an entrepreneur. And I'm one of those entrepreneurs that I like invest into my own business because I work full time and it's just like, no, I'll just invest in myself. And, the thing about YouTube, it's the long game. That's what it boils down to. And I think because I was younger, like I was in my mid 30s, I'm 41 now. I don't want to be like I have more wisdom now, but I honestly do. I have more wisdom and understanding that life is truly a marathon. It really is all about sustaining and being a part of the race per se, versus happening overnight success. Now the funny thing is, at that time when it came to YouTube, it was all about overproducing, overproduction, over everything. Because smaller YouTubers like myself, we weren't going to get that kind of attention. We couldn't even find each other if we tried. And what I love now, in the last week, I've been able to see more professionals, more everyday people, more people with my experience and understanding. We're all smaller channels, and I'm watching people that had 40 subscribers go to 1,500 subscribers. Um, it's really exciting to see. Like it's a great time to be a small YouTuber, an older millennial, and a Gen Xer all in the same breath, because I think there's a collective thing that we're all experiencing. We can't retire. I mean, I shouldn't say that. We're we're at a point career-wise where we're just kind of in the middle. So, we're kind of the backs of like keeping things together probably in our working situations. Um and so a lot of us are figuring out, do I want to do this for the next 10 to 20 years? Do I want to stay with this employer? Do I want to keep being a 9 to 5er? Do I want to be an entrepreneur? Do I want to travel? What do I really want to do? And I know for myself, I love to travel. And because I do work at a community college, I get 3 months off in the summer. And this summer was the first time I took off. I did not teach an asynchronous class. I actually took off from being an entrepreneur on top of that, because I felt like literally for the last 5 years I had been working so hard, so hard as a faculty member and then so hard as an entrepreneur. At that point, I had self published 2 children's books. Big shout out to my friend Alma. She is my editor, publisher, and then I also have a contributor, Cassandra, um, who also helped with some of the editing. I had already did a podcast, which I want to bring that back. I also had did just speaking engagements, attending conferences, being on panels, um, opportunities to adjunct at a university. Like I had just did so much stuff in 5 years on top of the fact of like what we all collectively went through from 2020 on. Um, I was just exhausted. By this past May, I was just burnt out. I was just burnt out. I was like, this cannot be life. And then I also went through some life things as well, which were just as challenging. And it's just like I needed to pause on everything. I love being an entrepreneur. But the thing about being an entrepreneur, you are the boss of your, like, you are the boss. You are HR, you are the CEO, you are the doer until you build out that team. That's what it is. So I had to do everything to a certain degree. There were certain things that you also have to decide, like what are you going to outsource to support what you're doing. But yeah, so I just wanted to get on here and just share, like, yeah, I just feel like it's time to be on YouTube. I, as an entrepreneur, I have tested out other spaces. So I have a professional page on Facebook. I actually have two businesses. One is a nature based program, preschool children, and then the other one is a personal brand, Deanna Reese Williams, hence my name on YouTube. So, but the thing is that having managing those two businesses, one that some would say maybe it failed. I don't feel like it failed. Started Outback Learning fall of 2019. We all know what happened in spring of 2020. And ever since then, it's like I've been trying to bring it back. We now have a solid website. Um, yeah, we have a website. The backyard is ready. Things have transitioned. It's not where I want it to be, but I'm also like, it's okay because I need to finish this doctorate as well. All of that has been happening too. Um, so that's one business, but the personal brand is what really pivoted and went into like a whole nother direction. It wasn't a business I was seeking out. Honestly, the content strategist that I was working with was like, oh, yeah, this is called personal branding. You can start a business. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds great. So I started that in 2020, and the rest has been history. But the hard part is being a personal brand and then having a business that's like really tied and connected to the community is that you really have it's very very unique in terms of marketing. The one that's community based means I have to do more things in the community. That's one aspect. But the personal brand, you kind of have to be able to use the socials because it's not like I could use it locally. I mean, I could, but really the networking happens in these spaces. And honestly, after trying the other platforms, the Facebook professional page, it's great, but it's sustained the same level of followers. But most of the people there are people that I know and they want to know what I'm doing. So it's about 200 plus people following there. On Instagram, I have stayed a steady 970 some people. And again, these are people that I know kind of or have heard about my work, which is really good. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, I need a million people. But it, Instagram is its own beast. And we're not even going to get into TikTok. I post over there, but it's not like a community based thing. Versus here, and again, I've been testing out all the different spaces, but I've always come back to YouTube. I always come back to it. And I think it's because everything is evergreen. It does last longer. It whether someone starts following my stories or videos today or a year from now or even the content that I posted 3 4 years ago, it's evergreen. It still has value. It's not like my messages have really changed. They're all pretty much the same thing. The only difference is now I'm like, oh yeah, I just show up every day and I just need to record every day. And I need to upload as if I'm uploading on to another social media platform, but instead I'm doing it on YouTube. So it's just really interesting how eye opening and how much I realized like I was in the way of myself because I was kind of afraid to be on camera, but not really afraid to be on camera. But honestly, because I teach on Zoom, you guys can't see my computer, but I teach on Zoom 4 or 5 days out of the week. So I'm on camera all the time with students. So I don't have time to be nervous and scared about being on camera. Um, so I just feel like YouTube is my space. And I really am looking forward to building a community to where I'm supporting and helping people that want to be an entrepreneur, college students, first time generation college students that are returning to college. I want to give messages to them. I want to be able to give like just chatty conversations from my car because I commute twice a week and it's 8 hours total a week that I have to commute within 2 days. I want to be able to share a day in a life and like how do you manage being a faculty and like being an entrepreneur and I guess being a content creator at this point on top of the fact that you're a student. People are always asking, I don't know how you do it. And I always say, it's not happening at one time, it's one thing at a time. I just focus on that one thing and then I move on to the next task. I want to be able to share those tips and tricks, things that I share with my students all the time, all the time. But I don't know. I just feel like in the last week, I've just really been pulled to be like, you have something to say. You have had something to say for a long time, and it's time to talk. And I'm going to talk, I'm going to share. And as a believer, it's just time. You know, it is time to speak up and start sharing what we know because I can tell you, working with younger generations, they they're looking to us as the boomers are retiring out. We are that next generation, the older millennials, the Gen Xers, where we can't hold on to the information. I know some of y'all can relate to that, working in situations where people are holding on to stuff. I don't know why. Just let it go. Just let it go and share. And that's why I want to share what I know because I wish somebody would have done that for me. And if I could say one message or give something, just share something that it's free, like it shouldn't be paywalled or whatever. Like it just should be like available for people to know this information. Because at the end of the day, I really want to see people be successful. And if part of that success is just sharing trial and error or just things that I know because of my experience, I'm going to do it. Anyways, I've been rambling long enough and I have a meeting that I have to go to, but this is my unedited, no issues, small content creator video. Big shout out to Ravina. Hope I'm saying your name right because I'm following you. And then Miss Marion. I really like her content. I cannot wait till she puts out her 9 to 5 product and how to exit because I'm here for it. I am here for it because I think there are many people that are interested in knowing like how are we going to exit this the rat race. We don't want to keep working until we're 75. So, anyways, y'all have an amazing day. And I'll catch you later because I have to do another video talk about the challenge. All right, take care.